Hey everyone, it's July 3rd, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with serial killer Westley Allan Dodd, who molested hundreds of children and murdered at least 3 in 1989, and that is him right up there. Dodd was the oldest of 3 children, born in 1961 in Toppenish, a rural community in southern Washington. In interviews, he claimed that he was never abused or neglected as a child, but that he never once heard the words, "I love you," from his parents. A diary of his from prison, however, revealed claims that he was emotionally and physically abused by his father, that he was neglected in favor of his younger siblings, and his parents often had violent fights in front of him. He fell off a fence as a young boy and was knocked unconscious, but it's unknown how much that head injury had to do with his later horrific behavior. Dodd began sexually experimenting at the age of 8, and at the age of 10 he was rejected by a 6-year-old girl, upon which he decided that he preferred boys. He grew up without any friends, and when he heard about how a catheter works, he began inserting objects into his penis. At the age of 13, Dodd began acting out sexually, exposing himself from his bedroom window to kids walking by. The police were called about this behavior, but nothing was done, so all he learned from the experience was to be more careful about where he acted out on his impulses, which soon advanced to fondling and filleting children in the neighborhood. He even went so far as to rub feces on his genitals and anus in order to entice his dog to lick them. When he was 15, he was arrested for molesting multiple children, but was just sent to counseling. It didn't help, as he continued to molest kids as young as 3, after which he was sent to a Christian camp where he sexually assaulted many of the younger campers. He was reported for attempting to abduct 2 girls at the age of 20, but joined the Navy to leave town. Dodd later said that he didn't fear law enforcement because he'd been caught multiple times, but nothing was done to stop him. He shifted his behavior to the children who lived on the submarine base where he was stationed. He soon paid a group of boys to play strip poker with him and was arrested, admitting to the police that he intended to molest the children, but he was released with no charges filed. In 1982, he went AWOL and was arrested for exposing himself to a young boy and was put behind bars for 17 days. Dodd was discharged from the Navy and was told to seek counseling, but nothing further was done. The treatment was a failure, with Dodd sentenced to 10 years in prison in Idaho in 1984 for another act of molestation. Despite the lengthy sentence, he was released after just 4 months, at which time he resumed his behavior. By 1986, he'd begun to dream about building torture devices to use on children and wrote, "I've now asked Satan to provide me a 6 to 10-year-old boy to play with, photograph, kill, and do my exploratory surgery on." The actual quote is far worse, but I don't want my channel to get removed, so you'll have to look it up. In 1989, he acted out his fantasies, tying up and abusing 10 and 11-year-old brothers before stabbing them to death in the woods near Vancouver, Washington. Dodd spent the next few weeks collecting newspaper clippings about the murders and putting them in a scrapbook. A couple months later, he acted again, kidnapping a toddler who he choked into unconsciousness before finishing the job with a rope. Just 2 weeks after that, he attempted to abduct another boy from a movie theater, but his car broke down and he was caught by the boy's stepfather. He was arrested and the FBI were able to elicit a confession to the murders. Dodd pleaded guilty and was sentenced to death. While on death row, he created a coloring book to teach children how to avoid child molesters. And in 1993, he became the first American hanged in nearly 3 decades. This is your birthday. Hope you have a great day. And to Westley Allan Dodd, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.